What's up, guys? Brian Grant here of ContestChampion.com, here to bring you all the details about patch 12.0.1, which from here on out I'm just going to start calling patch 12.1 because honestly, I was going to make that mistake several times throughout this video anyway, so I might as well just start saying it right now. So without further ado, let's jump on over to the forums and read all about patch 12.1. Now, there's a lot here, and I'm going to post a link in the description of this video so that if you want to read through it for yourself, you certainly can. But because there's so much here and most people just kind of want the too long didn't read version, I am just going to summarize this as quickly as I possibly can. Let's see if we can get through this in 10 minutes or less. Of course, you guys can see the length of the video, so you'll know if I made it or not. But I'm going to try, guys. I'm going to try. So, starting out with the stats and system changes, what do you need to know? Blocking, it feels good again. So does your damage output. You don't need to take my word for it. Just hop in game. You can see for yourself. It's immediately noticeable. Yeah, just test it out. You'll notice it in like the first fight you do. Challenger rating. They changed up challenger rating big time. I honestly can't feel any effect on it in the current game. Although I haven't taken like a 2-star champion and tried to beat Realm of Legends with it. But you can certainly go in there with a 3-star champion again, and it feels completely fine like it did before 12.0. They said that they're going to be posting more details on it soon, and I'm guessing, like, I'm hoping that it's something coming from, straight from the developers, kind of like they did about the item changes, which I've yet to make a video about that, but I do have a video coming about that very soon. And I've been holding back on my thoughts about challenger rating for a bit now. I've been saying that I don't have a full understanding of it. That's a little bit of a cop-out on my part. I have some other thoughts about challenger rating. I'm actually going to talk about that at the end of this video, and then we'll see how my thoughts line up with whatever details are coming soon. They've also removed the chance for champions to receive a critical hit while blocking, so it's going to smooth out the damage that you take when you're blocking. You're no longer going to, sometimes take a hit for 100 damage and then sometimes take a blocked hit for like 200 damage. It's just always going to be that steady number. It is a little bit sad to see it go for when you're attacking into a blocking opponent, though, because it sounds like that's also going to be gone as well. But that's, I mean, it's kind of whatever. For the most part, you're wanting to attack champions that are not blocking. So. Parry got changed, and it also feels like it's in a really good spot right now. Certain champions take 0 damage, certain champions take very minimal damage, and honestly I think that's the way it should be. I don't think that every champion should be taking 0 damage, as long as it's a very small amount of damage, because parrying, it does take skill, but like I mentioned in my first video about this update, I do think that there is even more skillful things that can not only just eliminate parrying altogether, but there are methods of playing the game that reduce the amount of parries that you have to do throughout the fight. So I think it's great that you're taking minimal damage. I think that you don't even have to take my word for it, just hop in the game. Even if you parry a dozen times throughout the fight, it'll still feel like you haven't really taken much damage at all. There's been some mastery changes, but honestly, you don't really need to know much about any of these. Champion changes. If you want to know about Scarlet Witch, then go to Dork Lessons on YouTube. Dorky Diggity Dave has a really good video about Scarlet Witch, showing her effectiveness. She's now a good champion again, basically. Doctor Strange. Some are saying that his healing is not enough. Honestly, I need to test out the champion more myself, but he's also taking a lot less damage in his blocking phase. Black Widow is got a bit of like a almost like a flavor change, right? She's basically the same champion that she was in 12.0, but now she's better against science champions and worse against mutant champions. She now goes up to 85% against science champions, which I think is fine. You can argue that Elektra has 85% against all types as long as she has a debuff on the opponent, but I think they both still have a role in this game, and I think that's fine. I don't think it needs to be any higher than 85% for Black Widow. Storm, her damage is good again. Captain America, and World War II, their blocking ability is really good again. Their proficiency went up, and then they also received a pretty massive buff to the perfect block chance, which is really cool to see. Thor got a pretty much complete reworking here. His health and attack went up, just straight up, got buffed. He can now apply 2 armor breaks, and he also has a Fury ability on chance on hit, and the chance on hit actually goes up over time, so that's pretty cool. He also, for each stack of Fury, he also gains more armor penetration, so that's also pretty cool. and his prestige took a massive leap up by like 600 points. So if you were a fan of Thor, he's actually like pretty decent on prestige too. Ghost Rider, his regeneration went up by a lot. I'm hearing from a lot of players that Ghost Rider is like a top tier champion, possibly. At least his regeneration is very strong. I haven't really played with Ghost Rider much, so just kind of going by what others are saying in this case. Realm of Legends. Realm of Legends got made significantly easier. For the most part, like you're going to be doing a little bit more damage in Realm of Legends, but for the most part, the big change is that you're going to be taking a lot less damage. And you're going to be taking a lot less damage when you're actually getting hit. So when you're making mistakes, it's a lot less punishing. You'll be able to learn the fights with a lot less resources. Winter Soldier now has like a special 1 bias, so he's going to use his special 1 ability more. Which is it's kind of whatever. Honestly, it was really easy to get him to use his special 1 as it is. When it comes to Labyrinth of Legends, their attack got reduced by about 20%, and this is actually really big. It's big for the fights where you're taking unavoidable damage, such as magic. And I've been trying to figure out solutions to magic for a very long time now. And honestly, I just don't even know if there was a solution. Not one that was feasible to test even by myself. So that's actually really exciting to see. It's going to be a lot less resources to get through those champions. There's still the enrage effects. I don't think the damage really matters for other champions other than the unavoidable damage ones. Although there are, a decent number of those. It's not just magic. But then the most exciting thing about Labyrinth is that they removed the dulled effect. And this was the biggest reason why I wanted to see Scarlet Witch get nerfed, because I was very hopeful that if they nerfed Scarlet Witch, then they would remove this effect. And I don't know if this was originally planned, but they definitely went ahead with that with the change here. Dulled, if you don't know, basically in Labyrinth, if you have a buff or you apply a debuff to the opponent, it reduces your critical hit chance by 50%, which means you're just not going to crit basically, and that makes the fights practically undoable for champions that have a buff or a debuff, which is most champions in the game, right? It wasn't very good. I understand why they did it at the time. They had to do something about Scarlet Witch, but that's what initially triggered my hatred of Scarlet Witch, was just that, like, okay, this one champion is what's hurting content, future content that I very much so am looking forward to doing. I am happy that Scarlet Witch got buffed up to still being a decent champion. I never wanted to see her get completely removed from the game or anything like that. I just wanted it. I wanted this, basically. This is what I wanted out of nerfing Scarlet Witch. So very excited about that. There's a lot more possibilities. I'm now going to be excited if I duplicate Black Panther. Maybe Black Panther's bleed damage is strong enough to go through Labyrinth of Legends. I don't know, but it's exciting nonetheless. When it comes to Alliance Quest, Map 4 and Map 5 have become a bit easier with a bit of a symbioid swap going on for an easier symbioid. In Map 5, Cyclops is basically the same, honestly. Map 6, there's been a lot of changes here. They removed greater block erosion. They've made a lot of the nodes quite a bit easier. The degeneration nodes are the ones that I'm most excited about. They're basically just lowering the degen damage by a lot. When it comes to Spider-Man, for the first and second mini-boss, they've made some changes here, and changes that some people think might make the champion more difficult, in fact. But they go on to say here that they understand that, and they're giving Spider-Man a special 2 bias as a result to try to keep things even to what they were beforehand. Honestly, I've never done Map 6 before, so I don't know. I'll never be able to say whether it was easier or harder before the patch. But I'm very excited for these changes, because there's a very strong possibility that when Alliance Quest gets turned back on, that my alliance is doing Map 6 for the very first time. So very exciting stuff there. A little bit scary, but very exciting at the same time. Alliance Wars, the only thing you need to know is that Thorn's effectiveness has been toned down in multiple ways. Pretty good to see there. When it comes to Act 4, Act 4 has been lowered in difficulty by quite a bit. And this is something that I've seen a little bit of fear from the community that maybe it's gone down too much. There are certain players out there who welcome the challenge, and I'm kind of feeling the same way. Players who have not gone through Act 4, I should be very specific in saying that. Players who have not gone through Act 4, players who have not gone through Realm of Legends, they found it exciting to have something to build up to, build up their their play styles and their rosters and stuff like that. And that does worry me a little bit too, because players are constantly being made stronger just over time, right? Kabam is constantly adding ways for players to increase their strength at a more rapid pace. For example, now it's a lot easier to get 5-star shards, signature stones. A lot easier to get all this stuff that's going to make our champions stronger. Even tier 4 class catalysts, these things aren't easy to get. I'm not saying they're easy to get, but they're becoming easier. And over time, it's just going to get easier and easier, I feel. So, the content is getting nerfed in the long run as is. So to make these changes, I don't know how I feel about that. But I will say this, I'm kind of in the same boat when it comes to Labyrinth of Legends, right? Labyrinth of Legends just became significantly easier, and I feel happy about that. So maybe players shouldn't feel sad about this. I want to make a quick detour and talk about Reddit for just a moment. I'm really hoping that with this update that players are happy again, and Reddit can become a place where people can actually share their opinion and not just get dumped on for it. There's a post here where basically this was for status update number 3, and status update number 3, I never actually made a video about this one because it was very short, and it just said that they were lowering the difficulty in a lot of areas of the game, right? But they didn't go into any details, so it's kind of like, hard to actually keep you guys up to date about that. But in this topic here, there's a lot of debate and stuff like that, and you come down to the bottom, and these are all the posts that got downvoted so hard that they don't even show unless you click this little plus sign here. So what kind of terrible, awful comments would you expect to see at the bottom of the list here? As someone who hasn't finished Act 4 100% and Realm of Legends yet, I hope they aren't made too easy. I liked working towards those challenges. Negative 31 points. Like, oh man, like, come on. I understand that not everybody agrees with this, but do you really need to downvote someone's thoughts about this so much? They're not even saying like, I've gone through it, so other players should have a hard time too. They're not doing anything like. They're just like, hey, I like challenge. I just hope they don't make it too easy because it was fun working towards those challenges. Like this is what Reddit has kind of become over the past couple of weeks. I'm hoping that it changes around because Reddit is something that I enjoy. And yeah, that's just kind of some wishful thinking about Reddit. Wow, looks like I'm not going to make it before that 10-minute time is up. Okay, let's keep moving here. So lots of changes to make Act 4 much easier. Alright, let's talk about these special events now. There's a Summoner Appreciation boost going on in-game that's going to give you plus 20% gold, battle chips, and experience right now. That's fantastic. It ends with it lasts until the end of March, so it's going to last a while there. Summoners receive a gift from the Elders. There's some very exciting stuff going on in here. I'm most excited about 3-star Hulk, as somebody pointed out on my Twitter, of course, because it was impossible for me to get 3-star Hulk without them giving it out this way. Something I will say in a negative way here, I don't like when they give out Tier 2 alphas like this. I want Kabam to make Tier 2 alphas accessible, just like I want them to make Tier 4 class catalysts accessible. I want them to make all this stuff accessible, but I want them to do it through challenging content. When it comes to, like, the rest of the stuff, I'm completely fine with. Class catalysts have become more common as it is, so if they give out a Tier 4 class catalyst, I'm fine with that. But when they give it out just a full Tier 2 alpha, I want to obtain those through difficult content. So although I'm sure I'm in the minority here when it comes to not liking receiving such a powerful gift, I have to be honest with how I feel, right? At the end of the day, I'm still going to keep it, I'm still going to use it, I'm still going to level up a champion with it. It's really not that big of a deal, but it's just something that I feel. Okay, so there's been another adjustment package given out. I thought we were just going to get a straight up duplicate of the packages that we got previously. That's not the case. This is something that you'll see what you get when you actually log into the game. The only thing that you need to know is that if you're above 200,000 rating, you get a 5-star Awakening Gem Crystal. So it's not the generic one. You still have to kind of roll the dice to get the class that you're looking for. and if you're below that 200,000 level, you're not going to get one of these. So if you're wondering why other players got it and you didn't, that's why. This honestly, this should have been like a headline up above here, because this is something really big here. Mastery, respec, and reinvestment will be free from now until the end of March. There's something permanent here though. Summoners will be able to respec at no cost. At least I think it's permanent, according to the notes in in the actual in-game mail. We're never gonna have to pay to get our points back again. The only thing that we're eventually gonna have to pay for again is putting the points into each individual mastery. Now, you still are going to have to unlock each mastery for the first time. You're still going to have those Carbonadium and Stony Mastery cores, so that's still there, right? But just being able to play around with the different masteries, it feels really good for, not having a cost to do so. They've brought back the Gold Realms, so if you're in need of gold, certainly go for that. They've added signature stones to the Tier 4 basic proving grounds, and then there's also been a number of bug fixes. They mentioned one here that I reported: Wolverine in Realm of Legends is not regenerating back to full health. They said that's fixed. This is something that I reported. I hope that I reported it well enough. People who were watching my stream know that I said I was going to make a video and send it to them to show them the exact bugs that were going on. I didn't do that. I just kind of sent them a message. I was like, hey, Wolverine's bugged. Look into that, So hopefully they caught all the bugs there. I want to show you real quick the signature stones that you can get in game. This is something that I absolutely feel is totally worth it. If you go into the event quests and you go into the expert proving grounds, and we can look at the rewards here, view quest rewards, and look at that. For the first time completion, you're going to get 3 of these 4-star class signature stone crystals, and then for a full clear, you're going to get 3 of the generic ones. Now it's an event that lasts 48 hours. And it goes on until the end of March, so you should be able to get through it 10 times if you have the energy. It's definitely worth using the energy refills to do, if you're able to get through the event, that is. I know a lot of players will still find that event, kind of a challenge to get through. If you're not able to, don't worry about it. The rewards aren't so mind-blowing that you're missing out on a ton. But if you're able to clear it, absolutely take advantage of it. I'm going to be doing it every single time for the rest of this month. Now, quickly about Challenger rating. This video has gone on long enough. I'm not going to talk about Challenger rating. I thought I can get through this in about 10 minutes. That is not the case. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this summarized version of the patch 12.1 notes, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.